New Noah Samsen video just dropped. I thought we'd give it a little look. It's called the Vaush effect, and it's a response to all the backlash he received from the last video, solving the debate bro problem, which I made a video on as well. Now, I'm not going to be covering all of this video. I'm just going to be touching on the points that I kind of care about, and I want to talk about the overall issue of the pussification of the internet, basically. And also, if you want to see like a full reaction to this, I'll link a video by Chud. I thought he gave some very insightful commentary onto the video.
I've seen the things you do. I've seen the way you act, and I despise you.
And without further ado, like and subscribe, and let's see what all this is about. Oh, and by the way, future me editing this, make sure to put the speed on 1.25x, alright? Keep that viewer retention up.
Why are we here today, Noah? Why are we talking about your last video? Grow up, move on. Well, I want to talk today about what I experienced in the aftermath of making it. I want to do this because after I released the video, frankly, some weird stuff happened and some bad stuff happened, and I want to talk about that.
You know, so far so good. I'm actually curious to see what the backlash Noah Samsen received was like. You know, I feel like it could you know, open our eyes. You know, let's do it.
Video, the responses, the debate, and the other content, I started seeing one comment pop up in different places on the web. The comment says that basically in my conversation with Vaush, I walked back my entire video, admitted to it being full of lies and misinformation, and should therefore delete the video. I've received versions of this comment hundreds of times, maybe thousands at this point if we're counting tweets, from not only fans of these creators, but from the creators themselves.
Oh my god, you poor thing.
So is this what happened? Did I walk back my video in the debate? And at first, I wasn't sure, so I watched it back, only to discover that, no, this did not happen. In my conversation with Vaush, I conceded 3 points, and none of these points stand in the way of my video's main arguments. The driving issues behind my video, the reasons why I made it, were Vaush's treatment of Professor Flowers and Xanderhal's problematic language.
Listen, I can't remember how much you walked back in those fucking debates, right? One thing I remember is that you literally opened up with, yeah, maybe I was a bit too antagonistic with that video. It's like, come on. All right, with the Vaush thing, I can't really remember the whole like Professor Flowers shit, I'm gonna be quite honest, but I remember with the Xanderhal segments, like, all right, your motivation wasn't his problematic language, all right? Let's be honest with ourselves here. It was the fact that he called you an asshole and you thought you could get a dunk on him, but you didn't. And it ended in you being the laughing stock of the whole, like, politics video essay community, right? That was my main takeaway.
The 3 points that I conceded in the debate had nothing to do with these. It has been a little while, so if your memory's a little hazy on it, I encourage you, go back and watch the debate. That is what happened. And yet, here we have countless people jumping into my comment sections to self-righteously proclaim something that is demonstrably false, and using this falsehood as a justification to force my hand into deleting a video. That seems a bit weird, right? Lest this come off as me saying that no, I did not get owned actually, as I slowly shrink into a corn cob. That's not true. I did get owned. Roughly 1 million people on the internet think I'm the worst video essayist of all time.
Hang on a minute. I recognize that video. It was a video where I was playing Need for Speed and calling Noah Samsen cringe.
And I'm fine with that. Honestly, I am. What I'm not a big fan of, though, is being bullied. And sometimes it's hard for me to tell when that's happening. And I have since realized that it did happen here. Now, here one might object, well, Noah, you went onto the debate stream and you were conciliatory. You didn't argue for your positions well, and you backtracked enough points that if people got the impression that you don't believe what you said in your video, can you really blame them? And initially, I actually agreed with this point. I was like, you know, yeah, I guess this is just kind of what happens when you go on debate streams. Especially if you go on unprepared and unseasoned in the art of debate, as I was and still am. I'm not coming back on, guys, so don't ask. I should have known better than to go on that stream. Ultimately, this might be my fault.
Good man yourself. We love someone who takes accountability. And you know, maybe with that video where I was playing Need for Speed and talking out my ass, you know, maybe I was a bit wrong, all right? Good man yourself, Noah.
Or so I thought.
Never mind.
When I actually took a step back, though, and thought about it, and then watched the debate a few more times, I realized that no, that's bullshit. People should not be allowed to lie about stuff just because I didn't go full debate lord in the debate realm. That should not be standard procedure. I entered that conversation attempting to seek understanding. I felt bad, frankly, after seeing how poorly my video was received.
Like, what the fuck is that?
And how if my goal was to put a stop to the bad behavior I tried to call out, then the video was a failure. I went on wanting to try to, like, I don't know, figure out what went wrong, I guess. And when this audience of people saw me do that, what they saw was weakness, and they took that weakness as a sign to go on the attack. And that's what they did. They took whatever they could to discredit me, and now because of this, they feel justified, vindicated even, in bullying me into silence. Cancel culture, the woke Twitter mob strikes again.
So let me get this straight, right? You went onto Vaush's stream. You couldn't debate, and by the way, it would have been a lot easier to debate if you did kind of stand behind what you said in the video. But listen, the whole debate bro fan base, and look, I fucking watch debate streams a lot, right? But it's like team sports, like they fucking pick at each other, right? You can't just go onto one of these streams, try and like shit on one of the creators, and then be surprised when their fan base leaves a few hate comments on that video, all right? Like, It's like jumping into a fucking thorn bush or gorse and getting surprised that you're hurt. The video essayist cries out in pain as it strikes itself. Do you kind of get what I mean?
And okay, so another thing somebody might say here is, well, Noah, doesn't your video encourage people to dogpile onto Debate Bros? It does paint them in a pretty bad light. Why is what you've done just considered criticism, but when we do it, it's harassment? And the thing is, you would be right to ask these questions. I'm willing to acknowledge that videos like mine contribute to this culture. They create negative impressions that can lead to dogpiling. It took me going through all of this to realize that this is one of the responsibilities of having a platform, and it's something I plan on taking seriously moving forward. You can't control what everyone does online, obviously, but you can take steps to be more responsible. So something like making it clear to my audience that if they're going to comment on someone's work who I'm criticizing, don't do it unless you're going to be constructive, or at least not be a dick.
Listen, I wasn't really going to comment on the whole Vaush effect segment of the video because I'll be honest, I really don't know how to feel about that. The whole J.K. Rowling shit that happened a few months ago. I don't know, time's fucking with me, alright? Anyway, I don't think Vaush's issue was that your video caused your fans to give him shit, and that's what his issue was. His issue was the video itself, and that it was pretty much mostly fucking bullshit.
But my video's lack of disclaimers is so much different than Vaush actively weaponizing his audience against other creators, dogpiling them and coercing them into getting what he wants. And I think that difference is worth taking into account.
Listen, Vaush not getting what he wants versus you making a half-an-hour video about you not getting what you want or what you're trying to get across in that video. It's like, all of these creators have the option of like not really talking about them if they can't handle the shit that's going to come back their way, if you get me. It's like when it comes to a space like politics on the internet, you can't really like play this what's the word, like if you're going to attack other content creators, you can't expect to be insulated from the shit that's going to get thrown back at you by their fans. If you want that, just don't talk about them in the first place.
And despite this difference, despite the fact that my video essay did not explicitly call for any public action against Vaush, as he's done here, I do recognize that it still could have had the same effect, which again is why, not just for streamers, but video essays too, and really everyone on this platform with a large audience, we need to be more responsible.
Oh yeah, just like you listed a bunch of videos at some point in the video, including my video on you. Like, some of the videos there had less views than mine, and that's fucking saying something, right? I'm fucking tiny compared to some of these creators. But that could have easily led to dogpiling. You know, I don't think I explicitly said in that video that I think you're the worst video essayist. But, like, I definitely do think that. I just didn't really explicitly say it, if you get me. But, and just for the record, I didn't get any hate by him putting my fucking video in there. I'm fully okay with him doing that. I don't care.
I hate war. He addressed our conflict on a recent stream and did so in what I felt was a fair manner.
Noah Samsen. I don't think that he's dumb. A lot of people in my community have said that he's dumb. I don't actually think that. I think that snark, when applied unwisely, can often come across as dumb because it gives the impression of a sort of confident ignorance of a subject. You know, we'll see how things play out with him.
And I do appreciate this, but there's something missing here if I were to just leave it at that. Because while I'm willing to acknowledge that in our direct interactions, Vaush has been fair to me, what I can't look past is the way that through the mobilization of his community, he has caused harm. Not just to me, but to other more vulnerable people. The backlash has been exhausting for me. I hit a low point during the weeks following my video's release, which was the lowest I've been in a long time.
Oh my god, that must be super fucking hard for you. Listen, this is the point where I'm gonna get pretty fucking mean because I hate when people do this shit. Listen, if what it takes to bring you down to your lowest point in the wild is fucking internet comments, I have no issue with saying that your life is going pretty fucking well if that's what it takes. If it takes you getting hate online to bring you down to your worst fucking point in a long time. It's like, you do this for a living. You chose to do this. The fact that you can even do this for a living is an opportunity that's rarely afforded to people, right? And for you to like make a video criticizing someone, they criticize you back, their fans give you a little bit of shit, and then you disappear for a while and say you're at your lowest fucking point. It's just so fucking slimy, in my opinion, right? Listen, if you can't handle getting hate, don't fucking do this for a living. It's as simple as that. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. That shit is so fucking frustrating. And that's pretty much all I'm gonna like comment on, right? I only really wanted to respond to the bit where he talks about himself. He talks about like Vaush's community, the whole Professor Flowers thing. I'm not really going to speak on that because I'll be honest, I don't really know a whole lot about it. Or well, I used to know a bit about it, but you know, it's fucking months ago. I can't remember. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like and subscribe if you enjoy it. And yeah, like I said, that's pretty much it. This video compared to the last one, I didn't think it was nearly as bad as the last one, right? That last one fucking annoyed the shit out of me.